Hello everyone and welcome back to Business Badasses Season 1.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I know,
okay.
I just came up with it. Business Badasses Season 1, the 10K series. I'm your host Gabe Matt and I'm here today with a very special guest, Anna Richards.
Hi everyone. Hi dogs.
And a very short summary, she's an international speaker, blogger, network marketing queen, we call her, and probably one of the most high energy individuals I've ever met.
Let's see. Let them decide. You can decide.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Her passion is about helping inspire women to step up into their greatness and live their most abundant life. How you doing, Anna?
Phenomenal. I'm excited to be here, everyone. Dogs. You just missed the Frenchie spew. Well, it could actually still be on there.
Yeah.
But no, I'm amazing. I'm always amazing. Life is amazing. Life
amazing.
is phenomenal. So I'm incredible.
Yeah. I wanted to start this off the most random way possible. So first of all, to give some context on how this works, it's sort of like a late night show. You know Jimmy Fallon?
I do know Jimmy Fallon. I love Jimmy Kimmel. Are we going to sing?
No, that is a brilliant idea. That is a brilliant idea. Karaoke. And we got the mics for it. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to break the ice. Because I find that ice needs to be broken at the start of every episode. So I bought this on the way here.
Brilliant.
It's a roulette machine. Now, it's a drinking game. And basically you land on it. We're not going to drink.
I was like, I got tequila.
You actually do. They don't have to stay the night. So instead, what we're going to do is...
do 20 push-ups.
Yes. So we have a choice. We can either do this stuff, which is pretty good. And I know you got high energy about it and you would be keen. Or we can do another one where it's red or black. Red, you can ask me anything about me, like any embarrassing thing at all. Or black, I can do the same for you.
Okay.
Or
I'm going to read. So there's like spin again, pass the shot. We don't have shots. You've got sip of water, which is in that badass. Or do 20 push-ups. So I'm going to go black or red. Black
or red, yeah, I agree. Because I don't do the push-ups. It's really hot today.
It is.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll let you do the first spin. How it works is you just, because it's like a cheap thing, you just do it 3 times and then let it go. And then when whoever it lands on.
Okay.
And you be black or you be red?
I'm red.
Red, right.
Red. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Red.
All right, red. So that means that you get to ask.
Yeah, I was like, I get to choose.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think.
Anything, no limits.
I was gonna do something about girl, like, oh, who broke your heart? But I'm gonna do, what did you want to be when you were really young? What was the first thing that you wanted to be when you grew up? Right.
That's really interesting you bring that up. So first of all, I never was that kid that wanted to do astronaut or be a president or that.
Yeah.
I remember it precisely when my mom asked me that. I responded to her when I was really young, like, oh, that's too dangerous. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
Don't be daft.
Yeah. Right. And she's like, fireman. I'm like, no, you can get burnt. And like, I got really scared. So I never did anything like that. Instead, I always wanted to be, it's pretty like cliche to say, but I always did want to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to start a business.
Yeah.
But not like this kind of cool entrepreneur. I wanted to be like in a suit, in an office, and I just wanted to just sit on a desk.
Be badass.
Yeah, be like badass. So I was always like that.
I was the same. So I remember, I know it wasn't about you, but it's like funny because I used to say when I was little and I didn't understand it, but people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd say, I want to own a hotel.
Right.
And everyone would laugh at me and my mum was so stoic and she would be like, don't you laugh at her, you watch her one day. I don't own a hotel. But like that was one of the very first things that I used to say. I want to own a hotel.
You want to own a hotel? Yeah. Any specific one that caught your attention?
No, I was always really family based as well. So I had this idea that I'd own this badass hotel and like my brother would run the kitchen.
Right.
You know, family would be working in it and I could just be this hotelier that was a squillionaire.
How old were you when this
Four.
First thought? 4 years old.
Like young. I was
That's
very
crazy.
young. And I grew up in poverty, so there was no basis for my Zeus.
It's fine.
The dogs are playing. But no basis for where that came from. So there you go.
Wow. Okay, cool. Damn. All right.
Your go.
That's a good one. All right. Okay. So I spin it 3 times, and if it lands on black, then, or red, you ask a question, black, I ask the question.
Okay.
All right. 2, 3.
Oh, they're good.
It's good, hey?
Black.
Right.
Your question.
So I get asked questions. So that works perfectly. What is the most embarrassing thing you've done?
Oh, I've got so many.
That's not censored.
I was like,
no, you can go hard. You can go hard.
I've shat myself in a car park in Perth. You were like,
But I was just like, I was so scared this was going to be like really deserved.
No, I have shat myself. So we were coming home from Thailand. I had Thailand belly the whole way home, 8-hour flight, got off the plane, got quarantined, like super sick. My mum was speaking. I'd only been dating my now husband for 6 months, Morgan. And we were leaving the airport and I just shat myself. In the middle of a car park.
In the middle of the car.
And my mum, and then
did anyone find out?
Yes. And then I was like trying to hide it. And then people are going to be like, oh my God. But everyone's done it. But mine was just really public. And then my mum was like, why are there all these flies around you? And I was like, Mum, I was 19, I think. I shit myself. And Mum was like, you can't get in my car? Horrible. And then my mum and Morgs, who was my boyfriend at the time, just like lost it in fits of giggles. And I had to like go back into the toilet.
No. That's
so good story.
That is a good story.
There you go.
What did you eat though? Did you know what you ate? Or do you have any idea what caused the sickness? Or you just...
Yes, I ate sorry Burger King, but I ate the only thing that we can put it down to was I ate a Whopper in Bangkok airport. And because Morgan and I ate everything the same, and it was a Whopper with tomato, and he got his without tomato.
Right.
So we think it was the tomato in the Whopper. But I can still eat tomatoes, so.
But who eats tomato on a Whopper is my question.
I do. Me.
No, it's funny you say that because I went to Bali recently and I ate, actually it was Lombok. So even, like, if
beautiful.
You go to, it is beautiful.
I love Lombok.
Very cheap and beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it was like $100 flight there. But they had this barbecue and I remember I was younger, so I flew with my mum. Yeah. And I remember I was having an argument with mum. I was like, I'm independent. I can fly by myself. And I had this argument and it bit me in the ass so hard. So after that, she went and did her own things, like whatever. I mean, she went, and I went to this barbecue, paid $50 for the buffet or whatever. Oh, and it was all these kebabs and stuff listed up. Yeah. And I was like, brilliant. So and it was dark. Remember, it was dark. And I pulled it over and I got this chicken satay and this squid, like all this kind of stuff.
Yum.
Yeah, brilliant. And I pulled it out and I put it on a plate and I grabbed these burgers as well. And I took a bite of the kebab and I was just like, it was like really chewy. It was really chewy. And I was just like, it tastes so weird, but the flavor was alright. So I ate the chicken one, the entire chicken one, and I ate it, and I was like, that was awful. But like, I was really hungry, so I put it down, and then I tried the seafood one, and I was like, oh my God, I spat it out. This is disgusting. And like, I kept eating, and it was dark, and I was just like, anyways. And I had there was these burgers as well, though. Yeah. So I had the burgers to eat it down, and I was like, right, and I remember saying, like, the burgers are so good here. Like, the burgers are amazing, but the seafood and chicken satays were terrible. And I found out later, I asked him, I was like, why is it so bad? He's like, oh, well then, have you cooked them? And
it was raw. I thought you were going to be like, it was dog or something wild.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. So, yeah. You ate raw
chicken, raw seafood in Lombok, Bali. Like, it was a really nice resort, so that may have saved me a bit. But like, yeah, I ate that and I remember like panicking, sweating. I was like, I got to vomit. Mum laughed because it was after that argument about independency. Yeah. So yeah, that was that experience. And yeah, I obviously had some sick. I didn't go surfing the next day like I planned. It was a lay day. But
wrote it off.
Yeah.
Funny. Welcome to Graphic Stories. Yeah. On podcast.
Video editor, add the image.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
But this is what can happen with this fun thing. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, it was $5.
Fun. There you go. Ice is broken. Checking on the dogs. Zeusy. So cute. Hello, baby.
To give a bit of context on the audience of who you are, I've given you a brief idea, but who exactly are you in 30 seconds? Who is Anna Richards?
Oh my gosh, 30 seconds. A life enthusiast, to be honest. Like, that's my biggest thing I always say. I was in federal politics. I was always hungry and searching for more. Always loved the idea of being in business, badass businesswoman, and just wanted to contribute more, travel more, have more freedom, live into my values and make an impact. And so I did all of that. I travel, I speak, I run our business. I earned my first $1 million before I was 30. That was my goal.
Incredible.
And so now I live this kick-ass extraordinary life. And I'm really proud of it. It's something that, like, this is probably more than 30 seconds. I earned my first $1 million in network marketing. So that's not sales, that's like cash in the bank. And I'm really passionate about changing the name and the face of network marketing as well. Side hustle. And
we're going to jump on that. We're going to jump on network marketing.
Good.
Before we jump all the way into there, so you said you're driven, you're with that. Were you always like that?
Oh, yeah.
You were always driven, passionate, excited?
Yeah, I like, honestly, I always say, not probably passionate. I've had a pretty wild upbringing, like most people, and, you know, lots of sad things. And so I wasn't always happy. Yeah. Right. But yeah, probably definitely for the last 10 years, I've been specifically seeking out and chasing down and living into passion and drive and authenticity and excitement. Right. And yeah.
So our audience is a younger audience. So what was life like growing up for you? You're talking about growing up and hard times, good times. Like what was it? Where'd you go to school, first of all?
Yeah.
You study, hobbies, sports?
Yeah. No sports. I suck at sports because I was really aggressive.
Brilliant.
So I've never played sports, but really into fitness. So love the gym. But again, that's only been in the last 10 years. So growing up, I'm one of 5. So I've got 3 older brothers, myself and a younger sister.
Right.
We grew up really, really poor. I always say we lived on love. Like we lived on my mum's love. I grew up in domestic violence. So my stepfather was very domestically violent. I grew up with abuse of all kinds. Unfortunately, I got to then 16 and you lash out, I suppose. So straight A student, it was really funny. I kind of went both ways. I focused at school, so I was a straight A student. But then in my private life, I suppose, I was just a mess. I was doing drugs. I was promiscuous. I was self-harmed. I did anything and everything that was like self-destructive.
Right.
But oddly enough, still really zoned in and focused at school. So
you were good at school.
Kind of like this dichotomy of rage and anger and taking that out with drugs and things like that, but then super focused at school.
Right.
Which is just
why is that
odd. I say, and it's a bit deep, but that I could control that. So I could control the outcome, and I didn't have control in my life.
Right.
So everything else was happening to me or for me, and I couldn't control it. And so what I could control is how I applied myself to school. And I almost rebelled in an odd way with that. Like, that's how I rebelled.
You rebelled on the books.
I rebelled with the books. It was like, I can focus and channel this anger and upset into learning and education. And I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, and you graduated, of course.
Graduated high school. I got ducks, in Perth.
In Perth, okay.
I got ducks non-TE, or I don't know what you guys call it, but I didn't do TE. I got accepted into university still straight away because of my grades.
Right. What did you do? What did you want to study?
I studied a Bachelor of Commerce with a double major in Human Resource Management and Management.
And did you choose to do that, or was that a parent influence?
No, 100% me.
Right.
Yeah, 100% me, with a minor in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And so I worked out the units. I was like, you have to do all these electives. So I just didn't manipulate it, but I was like, oh, well, if I do these electives from that degree, then that's another major. And then I had like one more to do and it was a minor. So
right. What was your intention at this point? Was it just because you knew you were interested in it, or was it because you just thought it was important to do? Just important to do.
I definitely am not an ambassador. Kiki's found the Christmas tree and the baubles. She's fired.
Oh no.
But I just felt like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do business. Eventually, I was already in federal politics at this time. I'd just been poached into federal politics.
Do you mind elaborating really quickly on that? Yeah. How did the federal politics come in?
So always ask really good questions. So I worked in an accounting firm. I was on the desk. I had just started university. I was working full-time and studying full-time. And I'd always flip. This is a really powerful story. I'd always flip to the back of the tax returns. I'd answered phones and I stuck wealthy people's tax returns and I'd flip to the back. And when they'd come in, I'd always ask them, respectfully, but gosh, I love what you do, or how do you do this? And I just asked good questions. And so, and intelligent, happy, successful people like that. They see greatness in you when you do that. And so that kind of is what happened. And then a politician was looking for someone and they dropped my name. And so I got in that way. I was 20 years of age and worked in federal politics for 4 years.
Federal politics. Yeah. And how was that? Was that an experience in itself?
The dogs are playing.
I know.
Zeusy, come here. Good boy. In your bed. In your bed. The best time of my life. Truly.
Best time of your life?
Yeah. So fun. It was It was crazy. You'd go on jets and it was just wild. I had a 6-figure income from the age of 21.
You're kidding.
Like, it was just, opportunities. I remember meeting the CEO of Qantas, and then the next night you'd meet the CEO of Virgin. It was just, for someone that was young. And
is that who I think it is, the CEO of Virgin, or was that someone else?
It wasn't Branson. Yeah. I can't remember who it was at the time when I met him. I just remember Alan of Qantas, because I was pissed because he'd taken chocolates off the Thursday flight home. And my boss was like, go tell him. You go tell the CEO that you're pissed off. And I was like, can I? And he's like, respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
But he was like, of course you can. So I went up, because they were like trying to get us to essentially keep the contract.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, if you want that and they want our contract, tell him. And so I remember I walked up, and that was when I learnt worth. Like, yeah, I was 21, and I said, I know I'm young, but we've got a dinner with Virgin tomorrow night, and they're going to offer us, contracts as well. And I love Qantas, but I just want to see that chocolate on the tray home. And that Thursday night, I remember my boss came like sprinting from business class because the chocolates were back on the tray. And he was like, you did this. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Oh my God. That's
so
amazing.
It's always like, speak your mind. Yeah. Show up, know your worth.
Yeah. Say it. And then so you're working federal politics. I say, like, what is the Harvey Specter moment? So do you ever watch Suits?
I'm obsessed with Suits.
What season are you up to?
We stopped. I stopped when he went to jail. So I don't even know.
So you're way up on that. So I've actually seen it up, and I just started rewatching some scenes just because I love Suits.
Yeah.
Harvey Specter says one scene, he says, people like to live like this.
Yeah.
I live like this.
Yeah.
And it was the best scene ever. When did you decide that moment? Like, what was that moment for you? Was that at politics, or
no? Before that.
Before that. Okay.
Before that. I think I always say, people say money doesn't matter and money doesn't make you happy and money doesn't make the world go round, but it does.
Yeah.
Money absolutely makes you happy. Money does make the world go round, and money is a beautiful energy that, when utilized properly, it can change the world. So my Harvey Specter moment was coming from nothing and never wanting to repeat my childhood. Like, I was like, I'm going to make something of myself and look after myself. And I always knew. So actually, this was my Harvey Specter moment. I'll never forget it.
Right.
Sticking the tax returns of a company, and then the company tax returns was the employees. And this particular company tax that they owed was higher than most of the employees' salaries. And I was like, I want to be paying that amount. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, I was like, I don't want to be earning that as an employee. I want to be paying that as tax as a company.
Yeah, of course.
And then that's when I was like, I have to have my own company. I can't be an employee. I want a business.
Right.
And so I started to ask questions, and I started to ask the men, because it was always men, women. I'm really passionate about this. Is why I'm passionate about women, like women in business.
Of course.
Because it was just all men. And I used to say, well, how did you start your company? And why did you start your company? And
you asked the right questions.
Yeah. And they were like, well, young lady, what do you love? And where's there a need in the market? And, you're young, but use that to your advantage. And so that was my, okay.
Yeah. Would you say that exposure to like a lot of money, like abundance, because you always love talking about abundance. Yeah, that word. Is that sort of like what you think triggered you as well, change your money mindset? Because I feel like a lot of people that I know, just like a couple $100 is a lot of money, and like earning $21 an hour is a lot of money, and people don't really understand that it's not, like, in the bigger scheme of things.
100%. I remember, I'm so grateful for that first job. They're now my accounting firm.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So we went, because when people earn a lot of money, that's who they went and saw. So when we started earning a lot of money, we went and saw them, and they're the best thing we've ever done. But I remember in that firm, I was earning $20,000 a year, which was nothing.
Right.
Like, it's nothing, working full time. But at the time it was good.
Yeah.
But $20,000 a year, but looking at people's tax returns who were earning companies, they were earning $2 million in a year. But that had never been in I wouldn't have even thought that was possible. I would have thought, well, that's for rich, famous actors. I could never have fathomed it. And I tell the story all the time at camp, but when I'm speaking, but one gentleman, my very first mentor, came from that job, and he walked in, and I was pissed off about the rainforest. Borneo, there was a rainforest. They're always getting cut down, right? But this particular day, it was all over the news, and I was pissed off. I was 20, that I was at work, and I said, you know, I'm pissed. He goes, how are you, young lady? And I said, I'm pissed off. I'm sitting here when I should be in Borneo chained to the tree.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, well, how about you become so damn wealthy that you don't have to chain yourself to the tree by the whole fucking forest?
Wow.
And I was like, is that possible? Can you be that wealthy that you can make that much of an impact? And so 100% exposing myself to that, to leveling up, essentially, like constantly leveling up has helped.
Proximity.
Yeah, proximity is power.
Ooh, yeah.
But don't ever think as well, like if you're young and you're watching this, they're just playing with balls.
So good.
That you're like, well, I'm not working in an accounting firm, so I don't have that proximity. Listen to podcasts. You know, read the books.
Right, of course. Yeah, you can hang around anyone you want to.
Exactly.
Even if they're not physical.
Exactly.
Though, I mean, I feel like physical always is more impactful.
Totally.
Just because you feel the energy, like.
Totally.
And that's the people you want to hang around. That's the people you want to hang around.
Yeah.
They got it from the Christmas tree. It's really.
Don't mind the dogs.
Oh god, that's funny. Cool. So, what was your first business venture? So you moved on. You worked this job. When did you decide? Okay, it's time to get at my first business.
Yeah. So I was 18. I was still in the accounting firm.
You're still in the accounting firm.
Still in the accounting firm, and the men had started to say, you know, well, what do you love? Where's the need in the market? I'm just going to take the ball from it.
All right. Anyway, so you said you're 18. You're still working in the accounting firm. What made you decide to start your first business, and what was it?
Yeah. So
the first one.
Yeah. So I was 18, and the men kept saying to me, well, you know, what do you love, and it's got to be like the ikigai. So what you love, what's needed, and how does that combine? So
right.
And I was young, and I was, you know, naughty, like I was a rat bag, and I'm like, oh well, even back then I kind of was like the Tinder before it was Tinder, and I was like, well, people my age aren't dating. I want to bring dating back into my generation. And so I started at Possibly Maybe, and it was a dating website for 18 to 30-year-olds. But you could network on there. So it was kind of like literally like Tinder,
like
Bumble,
Tinder,
like it was everything
and
combined.
I'm assuming these weren't around then.
No, okay. Nothing was around. It was only Plenty of Fish. So the big multi-conglomerate billion-dollar companies that own this. So it was like Plenty of Fish and Match.com, I'm pretty sure, from memory. So it was like two, no apps or anything. But yeah, so I started Possibly Maybe. I wrote a business plan. I took it to the bank. The bank manager was like, this is one of the, you know, I was 18 years of age. Yeah. I needed $10,000 because I got quotes to get the website started, and it had a lot of coding and things because you could have a profile and a login. And yeah, so $10,000 I didn't even have a laptop. So I built that into the budget. And yeah, I started Possibly Maybe. And I call it the apprenticeship to entrepreneurship because it wasn't, even though I was passionate about it when I started, how I was going to earn money off it was I was like, okay, Google ads, and then I'm going to sell advertising spots, and my heart wasn't in it.
Your heart wasn't in it.
I was excited about the concept, but I just couldn't get passionate.
You weren't passionate about the problem you're solving.
Exactly. But that was my first. So that was my apprenticeship to entrepreneurship.
How long did that go for?
I probably had Possibly Maybe. So I never tried in the end. So it was all a loss. Apprenticeship to entrepreneurship, right? Which I'm so grateful for. Of course. And I would have had that for 2 years, I think, but I never, I didn't.
The energy you didn't put
to start it 100%, and then it kind of started and it grew and it was growing very steadily. But I was like,
do you think listen to yourself when that? Like, are you happy you stopped that?
So happy.
And I mean, a lot of people have this argument with like, should I continue this business because you're meant to pursue past the challenging points, or is it more so you're just always meant to love it? Because you hear these mixed opinions on loving it versus just pursuing like those lower times, right?
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on that?
I say hard only because I have such an opinion whereby I am like, it's got to be a fuck yes or a no. Yes. Okay. And it's not to say that there's a difference between working hard and hard work. Like I think in business, it's hard. It's late nights, it's hustle, there's losses, there's disappointments, there's failures. But if you're not loving it and you're copying all of that, which you will innately with business, what's the point? Go get a job. Yeah. Get a job, because what's the point? Versus if you love what you do, and there's going to be losses and failures and setbacks and wall kicking moments and upsets and haters. You can you're impervious. It's like, well, I don't care because I love what I'm doing and I believe in what I'm doing. Yeah. So I was listening to a podcast the other day from a good friend, Chris Harder, and he's got he's a he's got multiple streams of multiple 7-figure incomes. Like, he's exceedingly wealthy. And he even said his friends, and they're all the same. He's interviewed Grant Cardone, and he says all of his friends and his networks will walk away from 7 figures if they don't love it. If they don't love it. And I was like, yes, Chris, I believe it's got to be a fuck yes or a no.
So then you were in business, that was not it. So I'm going to skip in for you. How did you get into your sort of main hustle, which was network marketing? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a gut feeling. No. So it was health, right? And so, but again, this is, you got to do what you love and you have to pursue what you love. So I was really into health and fitness. I'd been into health and fitness for about 4 years, and not like I'm not a PT or anything. I just like to work out and I like to eat healthy. So that was happening for me, and I just wanted more. I was looking for more from a health perspective. But this speaks to business and passion and doing what you love. So I was looking for products to consume that I loved.
Right.
And I found them in this particular company, and I didn't know it was network marketing. And the girl that shared it with me was a total stranger, but she drew a business model out. And I was like, I'm intelligent. I had a business degree. I'd come from federal politics. So, and I say that because I think some people that have this mindset, not your generation is best, but older generation.
That's interesting.
Are like, I think, network marketing, is that this period, they've just got such a misconstrued, and correctly, because back in the 80s, but when this business model got drawn for me, that it was referral based.
It made sense.
It made so much sense to me. I'm like, hang on a minute. You're telling me that if I consume these products and I love them and I share them, it's profit sharing.
Exactly.
I was like, I can earn an income. I hold no stock. I don't do any of the shipping, any of the R&D. So I have no risk as a traditional business owner. I have no cost because I consume what I eat what I pay for, essentially.
Right.
But my earning capacity is unlimited and uncapped.
Exactly.
Get the fuck. I was like, really? This is impossible.
Was that the first time you heard about network marketing?
And I was
you've never heard anything bad about it yet?
No.
So was that an advantage, I'm assuming?
I always say it was a gift. It was 100% a gift. Because
naivety is a gift.
Naivety is a gift. And my boss used to say that in politics. So I was 25 years of age. I got the products because I wanted them anyway. Walked in the door, and Morgs was like, my husband was like, the negative. He was like, you have just joined a pyramid scheme. You have been scammed. What are you doing? And power is knowledge, everyone, because and self-education is key. So I just don't listen to people ever. I've never listened to haters. I always say people are so crippled by criticism and spurred on by cheering that you lose the point. And when you can block both out, like I don't get sucked up in hype, like, oh, you're the best, you're so good, but I don't get crippled by criticism, that you can just stay the line. And so I looked into what network marketing was myself. Okay. I looked into what's a pyramid, well, what is a pyramid? I'd never heard that before. Yeah. And I marched right back out of my desk space and I said to Morgs, you're the idiot. Like, network marketing is this intelligent business model, because I'd looked it up. I'd spent time educating myself, and he said, shit, okay, we'll go for it. Like I would have anyway.
Right.
And I applied myself. And then just like you would in any other business, I applied myself. So it wasn't a cute little hobby. I didn't wax and wane. I got to work.
And how long did you work? How long from that beginning to you start getting momentum? Or was it a bit of a grind?
No, mine was really quick, but that's not normal. So it's not normal, but it's possible because I did it. So for me, I earned my first pay was $80 because I shared it. Morgan wanted it in the end, which was so exciting.
He wanted it.
He wanted. No, he did. He was like, "Don't talk to me about it," and then he was like, "Get me some stuff."
Really?
True story.
Okay.
True story. So then, but then. And again, I hustled. I asked people to take a look at my business. It was I looked at it like I just invested, true story, $1 million in a McDonald's franchise. But I was like, except they have risk and they have cost and they have staff and I don't. Yeah. And I can earn more than them. So why would I not apply myself even heavier than if I just invested $1 million? And so then within 3 months, I'd replaced a full-time corporate income with this residual income.
Within 3 months?
Within 3 months.
That's phenomenal.
So I was earning, I had my first, I think, $1,000, $2,000 week in a month, 2 months. 2 months, I'd say, 6 weeks. Yeah.
And why is it that you had that and others don't? Like, I know you're saying it's not normal, but there's a reason.
I just believe truly, because I didn't have a big network. I'd come from federal politics. You know, you see today I have this big social media following, but I've developed that with the success that I've had. That I didn't start with that.
Right.
But I just believe it's hustle and heart and drive and commitment. It's the values of just like, other people will have a hard day, say, and come home and sit on the couch. I just won't. I'm like, well, I want this for my life.
Why? I don't get that, because people know the facts. Like, Isogen is a perfect model, or any kind of model in that way. You know exactly what you need to do. You have the tools, you've got the products, literally anything. Like, even growing Instagram and growing Instagram business, people know what to do. Why aren't people doing it?
I always say the variable in any situation is always you.
Yeah.
So I just think it's your, and not upbringing or anything like that. I just think it's your own values. I believe when you live a really aligned life, your values are matched to your ethics, like your work ethic, essentially. So for me, I like today, we had a bed delivery. I was mid-workout. The delivery guy called. We had to leave the gym and let him in and da-da-da. And then he left. And I said to Morgan, we're going back. We're finishing the workout. And we went back to the gym. And even all the PTs were like, oh, you're back. Why are you back? And I'm like, oh, because we didn't finish the workout.
Right.
And they were like, Anna, you're just not normal.
No.
But I was like, yeah, but anybody can have that mindset. And I believe the difference is in the discipline. I think the difference is in and how much I work on myself. But just, I think just knowing that you're the variable, that it's a choice to you take full responsibility. Yeah. It's like in 2019, especially your generation, it's like Gary Vee said it the other day. I'm not his, I know this is like unpopular opinion. I'm not his biggest, I don't listen to him all the time and things like that. But a girlfriend shared a quote of his, and it was like, in 2019, your generation, it was like, if you don't have a side hustle, you're an idiot. Like, you have the world at your fingertips. Like, we're all scrolling our phone.
Crazy.
And it's like, if you are scrolling your social media, you can earn money. So why aren't you doing that? So I think for me, it's just recognizing that I am the only variable. The difference between me and Oprah, or me and Tony Robbins, we all got 24 usable hours in a day. Yeah. They're just better at leveraging their time. And they're not sitting on the couch and watching, TV. And I love the block. I still am normal, but I'm just disciplined with my time. I have a good work ethic, and I just take responsibility. Let's
go into, which might make you uncomfortable, might not, your successes.
Yeah.
And this is just from reading your blog. Is your blog the main kind of area if to consume information value? Just a side note.
Probably.
Do you have a YouTube channel, first of all?
Yeah, we do.
You do?
My 8-year-old niece loves it.
How long have you been running it? Because I couldn't find it.
Not long at all.
I was going to say, you are good at blogging, but you know how they say, there's video, audio, blogging.
Yeah.
Your video, clear, your video and then everything else, I feel.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see you more on video.
Thanks.
But anyway, so some of your achievements that I found was that you retired from your corporate job, achieved multi-six figures incredibly quick. But another one I want to see is, so you were invited to David Wood's and Jack Canfield's private island.
Yes.
How did that happen? Was that just an isogenics thing, or how?
Yeah. So if you your generation, I don't know, but so Jack Canfield is the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and my mentor has owned an island with him. And David Wood, who's a master trainer in the world, so not isogenics, he's a master trainer but contracted to isogenics. So isogenics recognized in my company, or the company I am aligned with, recognized that your mindset is your most valuable asset. Yeah. So they contract this incredible master trainer, globally known, David Wood, and he owned this island. And basically, he stood on stage at this event and said, "You can be exclusively invited if you're the top performer and the highest achiever in the company." And you get invited and we train. I train you essentially. And so that happened. And I said to Morgan, set a goal and go for it. I said to Morgan, I don't get it, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
How many days was this before it happened that you decided?
I think it was 3 months. Sorry, no, 2 months. August, September. No, 3 months. Yeah,
Did you have this goal that you're going to do it in 3 months?
You had to be minimum earning 6 figures a year, residually. Not hit it once and kind of fall off. You had to be a 6-figure a year earner residually. And I'd been with the company 3 months, and I was like, that's what I got to do. And so I got home and I got to fucking work. And within 6 months, so that's my story, like within 6 months with our company, I was earning a 6-figure residual income. Wow. And I went really fast.
Like, what do you mean go to work? Do you mean like you're connecting? Are you
researching, networking? It's the sales. Sorry, Zeusy.
They're actually not that loud. It's just chilling.
Sales.
Yeah.
It is. At the end of the day, any business is sales. Business is sales. So I got to work on not necessarily like learning sales, but in asking people to take a look at the business, in helping people get healthy, and like I believe in the product.
You did.
And that's the passion.
That's the key, yeah.
That's the passion. Like it would be like if I started to sell mobile phones or this. Like if I don't believe in this and I don't genuinely believe this is going to impact your life in some way, I'm not going to sell it. Because I just think that authenticity is that's a connection. So it's like Russell Brunson. Richard Branson believes in his brand so much. It's like he loved, and I love his story of how it started. He was in that airport and rah. So I believe in the product.
Yeah.
I believe in the business, and I got to work on so asking people, connecting, networking, asking for referrals, making the sale, essentially.
And on the topic of Richard Branson, you were invited to his island. Is that true?
No, I haven't been to Necker Island yet.
So, but was there an invite I saw?
I haven't been invited. No, I want to. It might be that's a goal.
Was that the goal?
That's my goal.
I was like, whoa, like
no, that's the goal.
But that's the goal.
There's a lot of people that actually you can hire that out. Like you could go essentially. There's a lot of masterminds and stuff, but I'm like, no. I want Richard Branson to invite me to Necker Island. 100%.
And when are you going to do that by?
5 years. That's the 5-year goal. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has to send you an invite, personal invitation?
His people have to reach out. Like it's got to be like a Richard like Lisa Messenger, right? Who started the Collective magazine.
Right.
He does like an entrepreneurial summit on the island and you can go and he's there.
Wow.
And Lisa got invited and she's a major entrepreneur. So it's just like, that's the kind of level that I want.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to do like the Jim Carrey approach where, the story?
Yes, the check and on this day I will be earning $1 million.
You got it. Yeah. Other thing as well is you've spoken to a lot of big crowds. I think a lot of people have the anxiety of speaking to crowds. How did that get started? Maybe what was your first crowd that you spoke to and what was that experience like? And then what was the biggest crowd that you spoke to? Yeah. It's
a really cool story. So the in the sense of like 6 people to 6,000. And that journey was
You said so 6 people? Or
6 people.
6, wow.
Was the smallest crowd. That was the first time I ever got asked to, university and stuff, but that's different. Like classrooms and stuff is different. I've done that, in high school and so on. But then when I started in my company and I started to share and do well very quickly, my best friend, stranger turned best friend, had said to me, can you get up in front of this room of we were 25, like youth still, in my opinion, and tell your story? And I couldn't. I literally, and she just did it really off the cuff. She's like, oh, Anna, get up and tell your story. And I was like, totally and utterly froze, like proper froze, like not like just done. And it was more it was more embarrassing to sit there and not be able to speak than just get up and fail. But I still took the coward way. Like I was still like, nah. And then a couple of weeks passed and she's like, okay, I'm going to ask you to share your story. Like, get the fuck up and do it. And I was like, okay. And I bumbled and I'm sure I told 20 different stories when I was, whatever. And I failed, but I did it. Yeah. And then I loved it. And then little by little, and every single week we started to host events for our business. And so I just got better. Every single week without fail, started to share in some capacity. And then within a year of starting, the company itself, who put on the big, Mozza events, had said, would you get up and do a training? So would you train for 20 minutes, which is a long time on how to build a team, I think it was. And so I got up there and I'll never forget it. And that was 2,000 people. So that was my first training, and 2,000 people. From the biggest I'd done before, that was like 300.
2,000 people.
2,000 people. And to go from like 300 and just talking about yourself and your story to 2,000 and holding the space and the capacity to train. But that was David Wood training me, to speaker training. And I always say today, Toastmasters. If you want to be a good speaker, I haven't done it, but I had, but in the sense, because I had that mentor speaker training on an island for 7 days. Like I had Toastmasters on speed.
Yeah.
Like for 20 hours a day for 7 days on the island. So someone asked me yesterday, I said, go to Toastmasters. And then the biggest crowd I've ever done, I've done international. So I just got asked to speak at the most powerful women in network marketing, which was like probably it wasn't the most people, I think 2,000 or 3,000. Wow. But that was like a Vegas stage, and you're recognized as one of the key influencers in your profession is huge. But the biggest crowd is 6,000. 6,000. And I was training on social media.
Training on social media?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, what was that part of?
There's still ISA. Yeah. So still network marketing, training the company's associates on how to build a network marketing business on social, utilizing social media, which is like my biggest passion.
Oh, social media. Okay, cool. Let's jump into it. Social media. How do you do social media?
I'm like, this is let's do another whole other podcast. Like, okay, I would love, it's a whole podcast. I just think, and I think to earn $10,000 in the month, like to think of that, I'm like, it's social media. You leverage social media. Right, well, I can give.
Let's jump into that then. Okay, let's jump into that. So the series is called the 10K series. I've actually written a little scenario to just make it as simple as possible for you to understand.
Okay. I've not read any of this.
No, you haven't, and I did want you to, but you asked specifically. No. You don't want to know, okay? No. And this can be tough, and I'll help you come up with it.
Okay.
And if it's good, okay. I'll tell you. So again, the season thing, 10K challenge. You have to make 10K 30 days.
Yeah.
Here's a scenario: you lose everything, financially speaking.
Yeah.
You lose everything. So you still have your relationships, family, and all that. And you have $0 to your bank account.
Yeah.
So nothing in your account. You've got all your knowledge and experience still there from you working, and you have your network of people still. And you're past the crying stage. You're past you've broken everything. You've screamed, and now you've decided, okay, I have to take ownership of my life, and I am going to make $10,000, 10K, 30 days.
Do you still have your skills? Do you still have your skill set?
So you still have your skill set, and you still have your network.
See that? So for me, if I was to do, I didn't know this, right? But I always say, use what you've got. You know this. Use what you've got. Start where you are. Do what you can. So for me now, especially in 2019, headed into a new decade, 2020, and side hustles. 76% of Australians are looking for side hustles. So network marketing.
Wow.
My thing was going to be, you find a company that has products that you're deeply, madly, wholly passionate about, and you get the minimum, right? Because if you've lost everything, so you get enough, scrimp, borrow, save, beg, steal, do whatever, don't steal. But borrow $200 off someone that you love and trusts you to start your business, right? Because my thing is, someone said this on a podcast the other day, like they get guests on and then they give them like, well, you start funnels but you don't know how to do a funnel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of things that you could actually legitimately do. So my belief is I've earned $1 million plus, 1.2 million, I think it is now, in network marketing. So for me, I know the business model works.
Yeah,
and I know network marketing. So if it was me, I would start again in network marketing, but I always say if I knew now what I didn't know back then, I'd go even harder and faster, and I'd just come in it even stronger.
Specifics on where you go hard. So I know you know social media. Yeah, specifics.
I would reach out. So I did, hang on. Kiki.
They're like, sorry.
Zeus. Come here. Zeus, in your bed.
Kiki.
In your bed. So tip number 1, 2, I'm going to give 2, okay? Like, because I want it to be realistic. So the first one, I truly believe, and I don't think anyone else is going to say this. If they're not in network marketing, they're not going to own that. I do, and I am. So I would honestly say, find a company, look into it. There's things that you have to look into. Who are the owners? How long have they been around? They should always be a company that's been around longer than 10 years. What's the product? What is the compensation plan like?
Yeah.
And join a really good team. That matters. Yeah. Okay. So that's like tip number 1, because you could make more than $10,000 in the first month if you applied yourself. What that then looks like is you build a team fast. So you help go and ask and find people that are aligned with your mission and vision and want the products, and then you help them build teams.
Okay.
So, but what I would also do, and this is where you're shortcutting yourself in network marketing in a really powerful way, find the team that's strong. So go to a leader, and there's so many amazing leaders in so many different companies, not just mine, that if you're passionate about the product, find the best leader.
Can you elaborate on leader? Like,
so
again, this is
doing well.
Marketing.
Only network marketing. So, because this is the idea. So I would say, so a leader has to have, like, be actively engaged. So important. So like you see them showing up and they're not like have earned their millions and they're on an island, which happens. They have a strong organization, so they build, like they're still a really good enroller.
Right.
They have systems. So you have to say, if I came in today, what is the exact steps to run on? What is your system that I can follow that will help me have success? Nothing's guaranteed, but do they have a system? And what is their own success and track record like?
Right.
So that's what I mean in terms of leadership. Yep. And then I said what the company should always have been around longer than 10 years, really important.
Okay.
Compensation plan has to be simple to understand, right? And not been generous, right? So that's from the network marketing perspective, because I had a girl come in the other day who started with me. She's not done 10K in 30 days, but she's came in just for the product. And then, some people in her life wanted it within the first 24 hours, and she made like $1,000 in the first 24 hours.
That's incredible.
Right. It's incredible. So again, not normal, but it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
So, there's all kinds of examples that I could give people that have earned, the fastest millionaire in our company did it in 8 months, I think.
Wow.
Like crazy stuff. So I'm just like, I'm sorry, network marketing to me, good company, good owners, reputable, like that's how you're going to earn 10K. You can.
Yeah, well, you've got the knowledge, remember, and you've got the experience, and you've got the network. But like, so again, so you've done that, you've chosen your company now. Let's say it's ISA because you have all those values. Then what's step 2? Like, okay, you've chosen that. How long that takes? A couple of days maybe to find. And then day 3, day 4, like, what are you doing now? What are you doing for the first week?
Amazing. So I'm on the phone to the mentor, right? And this is the power of network marketing. You leverage it. So you contact the mentor and you say, okay, I want to earn, this is what I want to do. This is the time that I'm willing to commit. And these are the hours. And that's really all. If you've got time, it's like, okay, these are the hours that I'm willing to commit. And this is when. What are my next steps? So you leverage their mentorship, and they're going to say, okay, do this, do that, do this, get on the phone, have an event. But the biggest thing for me is you just want to be asking for sales, but not the worst thing about network marketing is, I believe, how people go about sales. It's spammy. It can be, it can be gross, and that's what turns people off.
It does.
So I believe if you come at it from that really authentic, genuine perspective of like, and there is that sincere alignment of like, hey, I want to do this and I'm going to do this. This is what I did. And I'm going to the mountaintop. Yeah. Who's coming with me? I'm not there yet, but who's coming with me? People like me. I'm coming. Okay. And then I was like, okay, well then who can you help and serve in your life? Who in your life can you share these products with? And so you build teams essentially. So that's what, and then you just do that nonstop for 30 days. And you can earn, if it's a generous compensation plan and you are leveraging, you want to max it out, that's what you would do. Yeah. So in ISA, you would say, okay, I want to go executive in 30 days, which would take work, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's completely possible.
What about with your bills and stuff? Because again, you're dedicating all your time and you've got $0 in your account. Are you able to get enough money straight up to pay your bills?
Well, you can, absolutely. I believe so. So Kristen, who's a beautiful girl, like I said, who's not trying to build, not actively building whatsoever, earned her first 1,000 in the first 24 hours. I think it was 800 in 24 hours. And then a couple of days later, more people wanted it. So she earned another 600. So yes, I believe so. 100%.
100%. Wow.
But however, the other thing that I would do, so park network marketing. If you're I just couldn't do that, not network marketing. I believe starting where you are, using what you can, doing what you can do, taking your skill set. So whatever that is. So for you, it could be podcasting, it could be coaching, it could be dog walk, it could whatever. It could be whatever the thing you're passionate about, but you're good at right now, and you're known for it. Could be talking, it could be art, and it would be still doing the same thing. So coaching as well. So if it was me and we'd take network marketing out of it, I would then sell coaching packages. Right. But I would start like a mastermind and I would say, okay, I'm going to get so you want to leverage your time, right? Because you've got only 30 days, 10K. So instead of saying, okay, I'm going to sell one-on-one coaching packages for, you know, an affordable, like whatever, $200 a pop or whatever. I'm going to sell mastermind sort of groups. So 6 people can come together. It's a discounted price, but where you might have earned $100 an hour doing a one-on-one coaching, if you've got 5 people in that bubble, you've now got $500, or say it's $80. What's 5 times 80? Let's do it.
400. No.
Is it?
No, it's not.
I'm really bad at math. 400.
Oh.
So you got $400 an hour.
Yeah.
Right there.
Straight up.
Straight up. Now, same with dog walking. Say I'm just being like this basic bitch. Like, but like dog walking is still phenomenal.
Well, not everyone can coach, Right.
Not everyone can coach. Not everyone. So but it's leveraging. It's your networks, right? So it's leveraging networks. So say it was dog walking. You could just be the boss, right? So you could go 10K's hard, but it's possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So you might go, okay, I want to start dog walking. That's what I'm known for. I love animals and I'm good at it. Or dog sitting. But if I've got the passion and the drive and you want to do it, it's saying, okay, it's leveraging. And it's building teams still. So it's saying, okay, I'm going to do the branding quickly, Canva. I'm going to create a logo. I'm going to do the branding. I'm going to do all that. I'm going to ask my friend who wants to do it. You can provide the collars and the marketing and everything, but you've got a posse of then like 5 of your friends walking the dogs. You pay them almost a little wage, so they get a cut, but you take the main profit. So I just think it's taking whatever you know right now, what you're known for, what your social media, you are definitely known for social, like agency. Right. It's taking that and hustling and having the heart and going to businesses and going, okay, here's a package that I want to do. You could even literally do that. So say you did 10,000 divided by, 20 clients.
So this is your thinking. You get the number, like how much you earn, and you work backwards. Not even just based on hours, like how much do I need to make? How many clients do I need to have? Okay, cool.
Always begin with the end in mind. So if you want to make 10 grand, and like what's realistic, always like dream so big and everything is possible, but be realistic if you really want to do this. So I just did 10K, say coach social media. You guys are all amazing at social media.
Well, I feel like anyone could leverage social
That's
media.
what I'm saying. Like you're better at it than anyone else. Like this is your generation. So 10,000 say, and you wanted to sell packages at $100. So you're going to sell 100. So 100 packages, right? So
now it's more realistic straight away.
100. So you're going to sell 100 packages at $100, completely fucking doable.
Yeah, very doable.
And then say you want to divide that by 7. So say you had to work 7 days in the week for 30 days. That's 14 clients a week. So say you had to manage 14 accounts. So that's 2 accounts a day in my head.
Yeah,
completely possible.
Very much so.
Completely possible. So that's how I'd make 10K. I'd begin with the end in mind.
Think of 10K, work backwards. So what are you good at is the first thing.
What am I good at? What am I known for? What am I good at? What's required?
Right? And step 2 for you is more so reach out to your network. What if we don't have a network? Or what is a network? Is it friends, family? Who?
Anyone. Your network is anyone. So say you don't have a network, but you really genuinely want to do this because I love this idea, but you have a job. Your boss has a network. You have a mum. Your mum's best friend might have a workplace that she's willing to put some flyers up at. Everyone's got a network. You just don't. It's not who you know, it's who you're going to meet. So it's that whole ideology of, okay, who can you ask? And I believe if you were really going to do this, like it's so possible, you've got to leverage that network, but you have to share the passion and the dream. Hey, I've got this idea, this big dream and idea that I want to make 10K in 30 days. Is it possible? So here's what I'm really passionate about. And I'm going to start in this particular area, social media, dog walking, house sitting, whatever it is. And then social media packages. Then, okay, 10K, work backwards. Be realistic. So at 18, 17, 16, you might not feel like you could sell a $500 package. But you could sell 100. You could absolutely sell a $100 package.
And then, I mean, what I would do, continuing that, is sell the $100 package, and then out of those people offer like, hey, if you want also, more done for you services, I'll do it for $500.
Exactly.
Or if you want to grow by this much, like, you need better photography. Like I'll get some photography involved, and we can do that, and you can keep upselling them. I mean, like it is a funnel, but like it's logical funnel. Anyone could do that, I feel.
Yeah. And then how to get, okay, you're like, oh my God, but then how do I get the 100 customers? Well, that's where the hustle comes in. I say the person that picks up the phone makes a sale. I do. I think it's like, you got to leverage your network. Absolutely. But contact some companies. And I think if this is a young podcast, which I love, you said that, like the younger generation, I'm always like, leverage that. I just think it's so powerful and possible that you being the age you guys are, I say this all the time, hey, like leveraging the fact that I know I'm young and that's what makes me, that's my superpower.
Oh, it's a massive advantage.
That is my superpower, and I'm here to like impact your life, impact my life, make a difference, you know, and
Well, I mean, like this podcast, I use LinkedIn and a bit of Instagram, and like I DM on LinkedIn, whatever you call that message.
Slide into the DM.
Slide into the connection requests on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And like the response rate for like, hey, do you want to network, like is 30-20%. But you say like, hey, I want to do a podcast because I really want to, you know, help. You don't even have to say that, hey, I'm young and I want to do a podcast. It was somewhat like an 80%, 90% response rate.
Superpower. It is your superpower.
Yeah.
You go to work and say, I've got this big goal and dream that I'm going to earn 10K, but I just need to get it off the ground. And who do you know that needs their dogs walked? Like, I just whatever, like whatever. But
you have to be passionate like that.
You do, but that's what I mean.
Because because I want you to walk my dog now. Like,
yeah, I want to walk your dog.
Yeah.
I just want Kiki. Eating a leaf. Kiki's eating a leaf. So start with the end in mind. So write this. So it's like, know what you're passionate about. Again, what are you known for? What do you love? But what's required. But to be honest, in 2019, everything is required. House cleanings, everything is required. But what are you known for? What are you most complimented for? Like, oh, you're a great talker, or gosh, Gabe, you should do a podcast or whatever. Yeah. What are you passionate for? And where do you see like a need that you could really go at this? Step number 2, start with the end in mind and work backwards. So work out how many clients you then need and what you're going to charge to hit that goal. Leverage your network. Step number 3, then leverage the shit out of your network.
Like your network again, like who's in your contacts list. Yep. Start off with that. Call them.
Ask
and say, do you know anyone?
Who do they know?
Do they know anyone? Like Gary Vee says. I love that. Yeah.
Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Go to work, share your dream, and then hustle and heart. Step number 4. You continue until.
Yeah.
Like, don't get a weekend and think, oh, well, I don't even have one client. Well, shit, there's still 3 weeks to go. It's like you could land a client that would just pay you 10K and say, well, actually, if you could just run our entire social media for the year, whatever. Yeah. You just never know.
Never know, but you have to ask. You have to ask, and you have to leverage your network.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like that's very doable.
Yay!
I might have to implement that on the 10K challenge.
Yeah, good. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try now.
It's sick. You have to. I feel like you have to, because I feel like you document that, you show people, then people believe that's possible.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of money mindset, like people don't, like $10,000 a month is just so out of people's reach.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I'm like, no, that's impossible.
It is possible. That's what I mean. But in the people's minds, like, and you say people are variable. I think that's the biggest variable I've seen. Like, people just don't get like how much money there is. Totally.
And I would also say, what we're talking about on money mindset, this is something that I say to my team all the time as well, and we can leave it here because time. But I always say, like, even if you reach for the 10K is the goal. That's the moon. So you're reaching for the moon. It's that quote. But you land in the stars, and maybe you've earned 500 for the month. Well, shit, man. Yeah. Is it? Oh, you go reach for the stars, land the moon.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the moon be further than the stars?
No, the stars are so far away. The stars are like suns.
Reach for that, and then land in the other one, and it's
that's brilliant.
Do nothing. Cool. Live that mediocre life. Do something. Try for something. Aim for 10K. You might make 500. It's $500 more than you would have earned with the 10K.
Yeah.
That's also the mindset to have.
Well, it's not a loss. It's
a freaking game.
It's an experience.
Exactly.
All right, brilliant. Well, we'll call it there. But thanks so much for jumping on. That was epic.
I'm excited. If you do this, I would love to hear from you as well. Like, if you take up any idea, I would love to hear from you.
I'll take the social media idea. Like, I think there's so much abundance. People are so worried that, it's an idea, I can't share it with people.
No.
Like, there's so many businesses. Well, how many businesses a day? Somewhat like thousands open a day. There's so much opportunity.
Absolutely.
And where can people find you if they want to reach out to you and ask you anything about networking, about?
I feel like I'm most active on Instagram. The blog's there for sure. But yeah, find me on Instagram because you'll get an idea. Excuse me, Kiki. Which is just my name, Anna Rose Richards.
Yeah, and women, men, like, is there a particular...
Anyone, I don't mind. Passionate about youth, you know that.
Yeah, so passionate about youth.
I don't mind, yeah. And if it's a younger generation, then yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can feel from Anna's energy that she's the person to hang around. So thanks so much for jumping on.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Cheers.
Mwah. That was so fun.
That was fun.
You boys were only dickheads some of the time.
Kiki ate a leaf. Where did you get the leaf from?
It's fine.